Hello and welcome back, everybody. More playoff action going to continue here for Europe. This is CEVO-M. We've got Infused versus the ShiftPlay Eagles. And this is a match at the very bottom of the lower bracket. Lower bracket round 1. So if you lose, you are eliminated today. I'm Helium, and joining me for the first time in a while is actually Metas. How are you doing?
Hello. Well, I'm trying to slowly get myself better, and yeah, hopefully this game's gonna be pretty solid. I mean, there's not really a great deal of information out there on ShiftPlay Eagles, as we can see they have lost the first player here. So I'm curious how much Infused will know about this if they'll just run very simple strats and hopefully rely on their aim. But they have got the first couple of frags. They're going to convert that into the bomb plant. Playfoot up on the B long is going to land the headshot, but he gets taken down. It's all on Sif. We have casted him in the past, I believe, and didn't set the wall on fire for you. I think you were talking about just before we went live. So hopefully he's going to be able to step his game up today.
Yeah, I can't remember who he stepped in for. It was either Property or Publicler or one of the Swedish squads out there. And I wasn't amazed by his performance, but of course that was just one time. He could have been having an off game. And he is the newer player coming in for ShiftPlay Eagles. They had experience, I think going by experience, WoW, when he was on Publicler on this team. But he has since left. Sif is coming in, and we'll see how that works out for them. Running straight into the stack that was in drop, and look at Potty. Gonna take down 2 with the 5-7. And before that, it was a Deagle kill coming out from Otis.
Man, that was MBKS really from Cluj. That was craziness for the 5-7, 2 frags.
It's like they watched the major.
Almost, yeah. And now it's still on Red Snake, and he's got 8 HP to his name, so a bullet pretty much from anything will seal his fate. Still a minute to play with, lots of time. He's used all of his utility though. Just the burst out of drop zone, it's going to be the frag, and if he runs straight to the bomb site, this will be a plant as well. So he's able to salvage something, albeit small from the round. Of course, I'm speaking like he's lost this, but from this position, Joey, surely he can't win. 8 HP, no chance.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be low probability that it comes out of this. He's pretty fortunate already to have got the $800 for his team. Red Snake going to be hiding here just under the balcony. One shot from anything will take him down. There is head armor here to contend with, and yeah, that's going to make that MAC-10 life difficult. He goes down without even having the chance to fire a shot.
Yeah, kind of unfortunate. You could see why he was going for that movement as well. You could hear both players running to his right-hand side, so tried to play the close angle, see if he get the first pick, and he called pretty correctly as well from his position. I think what he was assuming is if he gets that first kill, he can probably win the round in the sense that the time will tick down and they have no defuse kits. So that first kill was actually massive. And as soon as he falls, obviously the defuse comes in. ShiftPlay Eagles are going to force on up here after winning that round, of course, and it's going to include a Mag-7. The Scouts still like a little and a couple for masses. So Infused will go for the force up themselves. 3 Tech-9s in play with an AWP. That is an interesting composition of weaponry.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, Crucial is a pretty crazy opper, though. He tends to get the crucial kills with it. Very hard not to make that wordplay. It's pretty much impossible to avoid it, so he'll pull that out. And you got the Scout here on Plyf. I guess we're going Plyfa. And he is the opper for the team. He was the previous in-game leader. But it is not super common to actually see the opper also be the person that will use the Scout.
Yeah, that is true. You can see, though, that Infused are going to be showing themselves a little bit here. And Otis is there, and the close range is pretty much where the Mag-7 comes to fruition. You're likely going to see it here on Long A. I can see the damage being done to Red Snake. He has to back on off with 20 HP. They've only got a few more grenades to play with here, having Infused on 3 players, including 2 smokes. That could be enough if they get this first frag, but they still haven't collected any kills. And with 35 seconds, they're going to have to burst out onto the site any second now. This is going to play into the hands of Side. That shot would have been crucial. Getting that onto the board. Instead, he misses the first and second. His teammate runs in front of him, very nearly some team damage coming down.
Yeah, almost
and
a team
somehow,
kill.
How has no one died yet, Joey? This is insane. 20 seconds to play with finally the frag's been coming down and Hoddy.
Oh, man.
Through lands nothing. The ball is planted and he's been dropped as well.
Yeah, so it turns out a very key part of Counter-Strike. Oh, nice headshot there from Plyfo. Actually got him through the box, and he was blind, but he had spotted his man before that flash went off, and he was able to connect it. We'll pick up the FAMAS. 1 versus 3 right. Ooh. All right. Aaron, just going to quickly clean that mess up. And only when Dansky and Crucial having gone down, Red Snake will actually take the scout from Playfa, and the op was picked up and given back to Crucial here, going into round 4 with ShiftPlay Eagles broken.
Indeed, they are. Almost worst case scenario for a CT. You finally drag yourselves back into the half after getting that forced buy-in play, and then suddenly your economy's broken again. And some teams will tap out at this point and they'll say, okay, you've bested us, we'll just save up and we'll get ourselves a better buy-up. However, ShiftPlay Eagles, they've gone for the force, and I've got to say, Joey, I do not like this call at all. There's no weak players on Infused. They all have head armor. What do you gain from here from ShiftPlay? Like, Infused can buy up next round, and they probably will do, unless Playfa can land some more 1Ds.
Well,
that really is their way to get back into this.
It's high risk, but the high reward is still present. Infused would also have to make a pretty tough decision. So both teams have definitely engaged in the game of economic chicken, but Infused, it was looking maybe hopeful for ShiftPlay. They got the first kill, but Playfa was brought down not too far after that. So you're into that 4-on-4, and the terrorists now just going to try to move and juke the CTs right now. It's just, gosh, how am I saying this name?
You're looking at the player page that just died.
Yeah.
Feka, I guess?
Feka Guden? I don't know. Why not? Yeah, he was in the key position, which is what I wanted to say. Kind of had the chance to either spot that rotate or even stop it, disrupt it a little bit, but just goes down without a fight. Now 3-on-4. Ooh, look at Otis there in the sight. Take him down with the P250.
The problem here, though, for ShiftPlay Eagles is just going equal on kills isn't good enough. Like they
exactly.
have to. They've committed fully into this round. They need a win from this round, and honestly, they probably need a win and keeping at least 2 weapons alive as well. Otherwise, Infused will just go for another force. They've got this bomb down. This is decent, but the positions from Infused are pretty solid here, as good as it gets, and both the CTs are funneling through onto the site, so this should be simple for Infused, but it's anything but. They've got that kill on the board, but the defuse kit is not there for the CTs, and Zed now is just going to be hovering over the site, and the correct decision was made from Sif, but of course this is going to mean another round for Infused, and that's going to hurt ShiftPlay Eagles very much. They do manage to keep the M4 though, so I'll be interested to see if they maybe stack the M4 on one site and then 4 players on the other, but we do have a match pause coming in.
Or if they even force again behind this. Because Infused, with as close as that round was, even with the bomb going down, 4 people are going to have to rebuy to pretty much blow money. I mean, Red Snake, Aaron, and Wendansky should be down into the hundreds of dollars. Crucial will only have to invest like another 2,000. So him and Zed are like okay to maybe buy in the next round if they were to lose. So ShiftPlay have kind of a hard decision to make here, and I wonder. I mean, it's pretty early into the game. If this was tactical or technical.
Yeah, we haven't really been told anything. Typically, team will pause and then say, we've got TS issues, mouse problem, whatever. But
Kevin's on the case.
Yep, Kevin is asking, trying to find out the information. I mean, I'm assuming this isn't tactical pause. It's so early in the game that would make no sense, really.
It's a pretty big round still. That died.
That died, okay. Yeah, it is a big round. And just going back onto what you said before, that there is a decision to make here for ShiftPlay Eagles. Personally, though, I wouldn't go for this force. I feel like the risk far outweighs the reward. Infused, if they even get a bomb plant and still lose the round, they can probably force back up again, knowing that ShiftPlay are in dire straits. So I feel biting the bullet is probably the smart play here. Maybe put Sif onto A site and the other player stacked on B, or try and play aggressive. Like, try and do something with these pistols. If you're going to go for, say, P250s, they've got enough that they could go for P250s, maybe a couple 5.7s, and just try and make something happen. Maybe a boost-up drop zone through mid, get some information. But if they force buy here, they could effectively be 5-6-1 behind, which is just terrifying for a CT.
Yeah. There's certainly... This is why the terrorists usually win that game of chicken when it comes to buying up weapons, is because the further and further along you go, it's going to take you a couple rounds to recover on the CT side, and you let Infuse get up to 5 by the time you bow out of that race. Then they're definitely still going to get up to 7, or 6 or 7. So it's pretty tough.
If they just save this round, they'll have enough for rifles next. So it's like, would you rather be a potential 4-1 deficit. Of course, we're speaking like they won't win this round. There's a chance with the M4 they still could. But would you rather be at a 4-1 deficit and then start your half and then start to get yourselves in gear? Or do you want to go for a force here, which is going to be a really poor force of like, I don't know, maybe a couple pistols, like 5.7s, maybe a Mag 7 in the mix, maybe another scout or something like that. And then you effectively go 5-1 or 6-1 behind. Like, personally, I'd rather have the 4-1 behind and then decent rifle buy up.
Yeah, especially because this map can be fairly T-sided, if not just slightly T-sided. So if you start off with the bad economy on the CT side, you can be in for a world of hurt. Terrorists can easily get into the double digits against a struggling CT economy, which is, I mean, what we're seeing the start of right now. So yeah, the saving is probably better. Just put that rifle in a place where you're not, I mean, of course you still want to try to win the round. That is still going to be unlikely. Just try to cause as much damage and keep that terrorist money in check coming into round 5 as Red Snake trying to diagnose if it's just a quick, need to restart my router or if the ISP is down. So that would be problematic. These guys are UK teams, right? What ISP does he have? What do you think?
Probably, I'd imagine BT. That's
Is that the crappy one?
I think Talk is a pretty bad one. There's a lot of different internet providers actually in England, which is quite interesting. You've got like Sky, you've got Virgin, you've got BT, Talk. There's a lot more as well that I know of. So there's a couple of iffy ones. I think BT is definitely dodgy for a couple of people. I used to have it myself.
Does BT not stand for British Telecom?
It does indeed.
Seems like that would be the most reliable one.
You'd think so, wouldn't
Although, as I say that, does Britain actually build things that are reliable? I'm not sure.
Well, I don't know how accurate this is, but it would sound right. But because the telephone lines in England are incredibly old,
yeah.
A lot of them need to be replaced, and there's some cabling issues. This is the excuse, I guess, that BT told me quite a long time ago when I had problems with my internet before I shifted across to another provider. So it's possible if they've got that, it could be the issue. Of course, it could also just be PC issues, I suppose, or routing issues. But a problem that you mentioned before, just to get back on track with CS, which I completely agree with. And I think this is one of the reasons why Cobblestone is T-sided, because it's such a vast map. Like we've talked about this before, Cobblestone is one, if not the biggest map in the pool right now, in terms of rotation times, in terms of getting from one side to the other. If you're on a CT side and you have no economy, no grenades to fend off those initial pushes or to retake sites with, it's so easy for the terrorists to punish that. And this is another reason why I'm saying for ShiftPlay's perspective, have the mind of maybe not even getting like the weapons, but having the grenades. Grenades are crucial on this map. Without grenades, you just get slaughtered from the CTs. It's not like an overpass, for example, where it's like, okay, we're on an eco, boys. We can stack close on like B and A and then let them run into us and wreck them. Cobblestone's not really that same way. You have to be very, very careful.
Completely agree with that. As normally I put voice enable to 0.
Yeah, I can hear that as well.
I decided to leave it on this time, so very fun.
And we just heard randomness in the background.
Yeah, they're making fun of British people on the internet. Get wrecked, Vince.
I won't blame them.
Oh, so, I mean, we didn't really get to see too much. What are the kills at right now? We've got Aaron, or as I like to call him, AA Ron, with 5 frags. About it. Everyone, I mean, ShiftPlay, everyone with 3 except for Thekaguden, but from what we saw, he was playing at A and he's been forced to rotate to B for most of these rounds. Which is tough. You talk about that long CT rotation, especially when you're coming through with just what they have at that point. Well, he didn't even make the rotation because he died at danger, and then Infused decided to go B from A to B. But you talked about having the nades to retake the sites. Without it, it's pretty much impossible.
Oh, yeah, super, super hard because there's so many different angles to watch from. If you only have like pistols or fairly crappy weapons to retake a site, there's just no point in even trying to retake, in my opinion. Just keep those weapons. And this is something else that I'd be interested in. I was saying before, maybe stick the M4 on one site, have the other 4 players stacking. They may just think about stacking all players on one site, maybe going for a few upgraded pistols, and if the T's don't go to the site they're on, just trying to save. Like playing super passive. Like these are things that could be going through the mind of ShiftPlay Eagles because their economy is in such a bad place due to the force buy that went up before last round. And this is why I said it before, is this force buy really worthwhile? yeah, you've got the risk of maybe taking some weapons and a potential round away from Infused, but if you lose, you're in this horrible place right now with a lot of decisions to be made. We do have a 10th player coming back. Red Snake's back on the server, so hopefully we'll be good to go very shortly.
Yeah, and ShiftPlay, let's not forget that last round did eventually, it hit a 3-on-3 where everyone on ShiftPlay had picked up a rifle and had armor and no kit. I mean, there was a decision that maybe could have been made to just back off and saved. And then coming into this round, you could have had 2 people with P250 or 5.7 armor and some grenades, and you could have had 3 people with rifles and grenades. So
exactly.
Although that last round was fairly close, but I think going into retake, time was getting a little tight. They had no kit, and Zed was able to win the 1v2 by just killing the man on the bomb. Because there is so much to watch. As you're the player, you're trying to cover that diffuser, but what are you going to watch? There's 3 or 4 things that you need to look at. I guess he just was not looking at the log B plat where Zed was, but Red Snake's back. ShiftPlay's member has finished up things in the bathroom, and we are ready to go into round 5, finally.
We are indeed. So I'm hoping it stays the case. ShiftPlay don't go for the force. That seems to be the case. So Sif can have the 1M4. Let's have a look how the players are fanning out. Yes, indeed, from Othis. So it's going to be a 3-2 stack. They're not going to be going for any shenanigans with that M4 by itself. Pretty much a standard play here from ShiftPlay Eagles. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Maybe just hoping, they can get themselves a cheeky frag, convert that into an AK, maybe try and hold down the fort. I can understand this. A lot of teams will go for this kind of setup.
Smoke leaves a little bit of a gap there, and Sif, that's exactly what you want to see happen with the M4 A1S. He will actually find that opening frag.
And cleanly as well, didn't take any damage. So that's pretty big. Again, though, it's definitely stacked against ShiftPlay Eagles in the sense if they lose a couple of players, they've got no defuse kits, only a flashbang to retake a site. So you still feel Infused to have this in the bag. But this would be a nice way for things to start off, and Feka did
Crucial got ripped.
Damage there, yeah, he is down to 7.
And Office playing from that position that oftentimes goes unchecked, playing from that first cannon. There's distractions being made from the doors from balcony, but Wendansky will still spot him out. Plyfa and Hadi were going up on the balcony, starting to back off. Sif could very well just save this gun again. I don't know if they've got... Oh, wow. Going down in the fire, getting tagged up through the door, slowed down, can't escape the burning fire. And, okay, Sif has already made his exit. He's run away. Hadi's staying by with that P2K, gonna maybe try to cause some damage.
Yeah. It makes a lot of sense here. Save the M4, allow the player who's invested nothing into this round to potentially die. Look for a kill at the end. He's not going to get anything done. Infused going to pick that up 4-1. It's important for Sif as well to keep that weapon going through into this round because he'd have been struggling a tiny bit had he have not. So he's going to be able to get some more grenades in the play. And here we go. This is the solid rifle round. Oh, please. Another pause. We're cursed, I swear, Joe.
Don't do it to
together.
me.
Unpause.
Yay.
What is going on? Right, so it's a solid rifle round anyway now for ShiftPlay Eagles. Not quite as healthy as I'm sure they'd hope, but this is the best chance they've had now to start to get some leeway back in their favour and open the play for Plyfa to say he's their main AWP before. They do have grenades, they've got a couple defuse kits now. This is the moment where ShiftPlay Eagles need to step up.
Yes, it is. Very important round. A lot of pressure going to come here in round 6. Where is Plyfa with that option? He's over at long A. I'm going to just call him Feka. Feka getting 1 kill there in that middle room. Plyfa trying to help him out. Did find one of his own, so it goes 2 for 2, but still trading. As you put it, not good enough when you're the CTs. You need to hold your positions. But, I mean, even still, we know that Crucial is pretty low. I'm not sure if ShiftPlay realized they've tagged him to 19. So that will make things a little bit harder for Infused. But they do have a ton of grenades to use for a site take.
Oh, yeah. And these are the kind of positions as well, Joey, where Cobblestone really works against the CTs. You're seeing, look how spread out they are. Hodi has to stay on B in case they rotate towards that site, and doing so there is vast amounts of space that's not being covered. That's a fantastic pop flash, though, and Othis is going to capitalize on top of that.
And they're going to throw another one. Those were 2 of the flashes used pretty well. Unfortunately, that flash itself, it was a good idea, The players were there. The flash itself just wasn't effective, but still, they trade out on the CT slope. Actually 1 for 2, so not very good for the CTs, but it still leaves it with Potty moving in one-on-one versus Zed, jumping up though and getting caught. That's tough. Another close round, so it's not like Infused economy is really building either. So if they lose one, maybe one round and then a Tech 9 round, they'll be onto a save. But I don't know. This is the chance they have to build because ShiftPlay just has to save. We'll probably just see some upgraded pistols. And that's all we will see. Yep, only Office going for Deagle Kevlar, and a smoke comes out here on Feka to help hold this mid room.
Indeed, as you say, only one player really committing into this round. Although there is a second Deagle, so it's a fair chunk of money that could be lost here in this round. 3 players that close. This is really where the pistols are going to come into fruition. You can see Oathis, one of those players we have to mention. Deagle's going to do work. Holly jumps up. He's looking for that AK-47. He isn't picking up as well. Red Snake's going to have to be down recharging in. That's going to be Aaron that puts him down. But not a bad trade in the early stages of this round for ShiftPlay Eagles, but it, of course, it's going to come down to how they finish this one out. If Infused keep 4 weapons, that early aggression from ShiftPlay is going to mean absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that was actually getting a little bit scary there for Red Snake, but I think he called. He was probably screaming, "Help!" And Aaron was close enough to stop those aggressing CT players that were, I mean, had even picked up the AK, and somehow Office gets out of there. Still 4-on-4, and this is the rounds where the Paris can start to sweat a little. Having been picked off and withered down by the pistols, but there's Aaron standing tall and denying Office a chance at a 1D.
Yeah, kind of unfortunate there. There's the second kill, and I think this house of cards is about to come crumbling down and start folding around ShiftPlay Eagles. Left player's play phase, got the P250, and that is all. No kills lost. He's going to get spotted. I thought he was going to get the frag there on Zed, but he doesn't. And now Infused economy is going to start to build. Wow, he is. That's overkill. I've never seen it.
That player.
That corpse is dead. Stop it.
Didn't like the way that corpse was looking at him.
Brutal. Brutal. Again, a decent economy for ShiftPlay Eagles, but now the currency that matters is also at the top of your screen. It's 6-1 to Infused. So, yes, they've got decent weapons, but at some point, Joey, I said this the last time, their weapons, they've got to stand up. It's not good enough just to have good weapons anymore. You've got to do something with it.
Okay. He was close to missing the buy window. Wondering exactly where he was. He was AFK and spawn for a while. He's back. He's run over to the B site right now. 3 players for Infused are working it here. Looks like Wendansky taking point over on the platform, and Red Snake up and drop. The Bombo and 2 others. That's going to be Zed and Crucial with the op are out in T middle. So just trying to work the picks right now, but it's Office that finds 2 and drop. A beautiful spray transfer. And Red Snake does get the trade out with the Molotov.
It does indeed. So Infused are going to play behind. One little stat that I'd like to bring up, though, is that Infused, on Cobblestone recently, just a couple weeks ago, took Hellraisers to 16-14 on Cobblestone. That is not a bad score for a team that a lot of people would have considered to get smashed in that game. It goes to show the caliber of team that they are on this map. So ShiftPlay are going to be struggling throughout, you have to expect. Crucial going for that opening pick. He's looking, he did hear a bullet just ricochet behind him, so you can have an idea generally where that player is. But his teammates drop down and takes a lot of damage. That's when Dansky's going to be finished off as well. Zed is coming in through drop zone. And I've got to say, the CT should have this, but Zed's second frag makes it interesting. That could be the man to stand tall against Infused. If he falls now, it's going to be a catastrophe for ShiftPlay Eagles. The bomb's been planted, and now all the pressure has shifted from Infused onto ShiftPlay Eagles.
Yeah, you can see Feka kind of gave away his position. Even though with the silence gun, it's harder to tell. I think they've realized he might be over here. He was spraying when that smoke went down against the wall, expecting the plant to be there. But it was actually Crucial who had crossed all the way behind the statue of the B site. And it looks like Feka, yep, just going to go in for the op and will get out of here. So Infused 7-1 right now. Very dominant T performance. A lot of these rounds are coming pretty close, but ShiftPlay just can't quite get one to convert into a W.
That's it, really. They've been close a number of times, but that simply is not good enough. And you can see the effect that's going to start to have on an economy because they managed to save one weapon that could allow them to buy back up this round if they want. And indeed they will. Without that saved weapon, you're looking at someone with pretty much nothing. So it goes, again, just to show the importance of keeping a weapon alive from a CT's perspective. ShiftPlay Eagles also have a decent amount of grenades with a defuse kit, so this is another chance for them to bounce back. But they're running out of time. It is a T-sided map, I think most people would agree on that. But this has the potential of going horribly out of control, and look at that entry. Feki's been there a couple times already, maybe just a bit too obvious, a bit too predictable. And you can see his teammate apply for with the AWP, could try and wrap his way around long and get some frags down. There's the first one, he's given his position away now. How are Infused going to counteract that? They lose a second player to the hands of Playfa. It's a 3-on-3, but 2 players from Infused are pretty heavily tagged up. Oni goes peeking and he gets shut down. And you can hit it Cypher's on top of that. Molotov taking damage. 2-2 now.
Catches Aaron in the back. Aaron knows that Playfa was over here at long with the op. Even still, he's just Playfa 1 versus 2, and well, I mean, it was sniper versus sniper, but it wasn't much of a sniper battle. Crucial catching Playfa pretty much unaware right there for that last frag.
Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head as well, Joey. They knew exactly where he was. He'd taken 2 players down from there. It's unlikely he'd have rotated through mid at that point. There's no way he'd have been getting around from the B side, so they could both put their crosshairs around that area, and it was very difficult for them to get anything done. So again, ShiftPlay, feeling like a broken record here, in a tough position. Deagle and 5-7 with Kevlar behind it on Othis and Cypher respectively. They got themselves a smoke as well, and that smoke is going to be thrown into long on B, but very early on. So this doesn't do a great deal for ShiftPlay Eagles. If they want to peek up there and have a look behind the box, that's really the only thing I can think of, and Infused can easily counteract that. They've got Molotovs to throw down on long behind the box if they want. So this should be another round to Infused, and pretty convincingly so.
Yeah, no one's actually quite died yet. Aaron's low, Red Snake. Oh, almost got caught reloading by Hadi, who peeked out of that smoke. Like they're looking in through the drop window. Well, I like that, the Hydro... Did he rename it? Oh, he renamed it the Bondic. I got a better name. So that's the AK Hydroponic. He should have renamed it the Hydrobondic.
No.
That would have been sick. And Othis. Pretty much been good for a pistol kill every round when they get into these situations. Oh, and there's Playfa with the Deagle just hiding out in a kind of a cheesy spot there, but it goes unchecked. And this is maybe getting rough for Infused.
Key man might be Hodi here. He's the guy that's rotating that's around the back, and I don't think he's been spotted just yet. And there we go. He does land the shot onto Crucial. That's on Aaron. 7 HP to his name, and just far too many angles to cover. And finally, ShiftPlay Eagles get themselves back on the board again, and they're going to be able to pick up a bunch of these weapons. So this is maybe a chance for them to reset now and come back into this half. And of course, Joey, if they do take us back to 8-7, that's a respectable score.
Terrace got ran over. Did you see that?
Yeah, he's like on the front bumper.
Looks like he just got splattered onto that van.
Yeah, this is a chance now for ShiftPlay Eagles to try and bring this back. If they get 6 or 7 rounds, that's a respectable halftime scoreline. They can do something with that. But again, we're in that same kind of cursed position for the CTs. If they lose this round now, they do have enough to buy up the next round, but the rounds after that are going to be real struggle. So you've got to keep that momentum going forwards.
Yeah. Well, it is pretty nice that they won on an eco. That's like such a big boost to your economy that ShiftPlay is already up with just 1 win in a place where they can have rifles, lose a round, and have rifles again. So there is no better scenario to start making your comeback than winning on an eco round like that. That being said, it's still going to be difficult. Infused seem to have had their number this entire match. It's 8-2, and already Zed has been playing pretty well. And there's Windansky, almost able to spray down 2, but Civ in with the trade. He's down to 73 HP. Infused with the man advantage, and they are still leaning very heavily this B site.
ShiftPlay Eagles, I don't think I've seen them a single time utilizing the back of B towards Chicken Coop. I think they've, because of the lack of economy, they've constantly been close range with like pistols or M4s. And you can see that Infused are falling that right now. Again, it's Otis. He's going up close. He does get a frag, but he's going to get traded out. And again, in a 3 versus 2, that's simply not good enough. Bomb is being planted. Cypher's assuming it's on the far left-hand side behind the concrete. That's not the case. Bomb has now gone down. And Zed through drop zone is just going to have easy pickings onto Cypher. So it leaves us with Playfa with the AWP. This is a pretty important weapon to save. They're going to keep that probably bolstering through to the next couple rounds, but it's not going to happen. And again, Infused getting frags, and I think 3 of those kills were as a result of ShiftPlay peaking the plateau. Just going aggressive and getting caught.
Yeah, I guess they felt they were the man down, so they had to kind of be the aggressors. Office was really hoping that he could I mean, Alvis barely got that one kill when he peaked aggressive. He was almost pretty lucky to have found it. Because they were fighting for a while, but then I'm sure he ran out of ammunition. He got taken down, and no one else could really step up. They needed a double spray down of sorts, trying to get them as they came off the platform, but it didn't happen. Office will go in, and that's what we talked about. They lose that round, but because they won on an eco, or I guess we should say the deco, there were a lot of deagles 5.7s in that round. They are able to sustain another buy in the Mag 7. Honestly, really good gun on Cobble. The problem comes when, you are avoided, and you have to make a rotation, then it becomes completely garbage. 4-on-4, though.
Oh, so yeah, Mag 7 on retakes is not going to happen.
Oh, long range!
That's the issue right there. In a nutshell, you just saw it. At range, it's all over. Mag 7 can't get anything done.
Had that guy, though.
However, the A4 can, and that's why Holly is trying to put it to use on long. So you can see 2 players for Infused and a 4-on-3 are pretty low. Aaron and Windansky just a couple shots away from death, but what a shot that is from Aaron, slightly through the wooden doors there in mid. Brings us back to even, and still a lot of time to play with, so you can see that ShiftPlay Eagles, they can't put all their eggs in either basket here. 2 players over on the B side, although Sif can easily rotate through, connector if needs be, and Hoddy on the cannons. How are Infused going to attack this? They still have grenades to play with as well.
Well, Aaron, with that double kill, we've seen him hitting a lot of shots. He's actually now the top fragger in the server with 15 kills. Zed, who I complimented in the previous round, playing out of his minds, is there on 14 kills. Won't be able to do anything about that in this round since he's already dead. Zed is dead. Oh, and Hottie goes again, sees that barrel, and there's actually a TK coming out from Windansky. He tries to make up for it, but it's too much. He's left with that 1 versus 3. Sif with the 2K, and ShiftPlay Eagles finding the 3rd round here, but money's still tight.
It is. It is for both teams, in fairness. So Infused, they are going to be able to force together a buy this round, but this will be their last get-out-of-jail-free card, in a sense. So Tech9 or Windansky, rest of players with AKs. You can see the money next to their names, nothing too spectacular. Double AWP setup for ShiftPlay Eagles. Not unheard of on Cobblestone, definitely can work. But on retakes in particular, if Infused do get onto site, those double AWPs are going to be a real pain in the backside for ShiftPlay Eagles. That could really throw things out of control. What a shot that is from Othis. Flicking onto Windansky.
Oh, some nades. Oh, the nade's going out, actually. There was one HE maybe trying to deter this, but the smokes come over the wall. There's 6 with the kill on Snake. Office from KFC, but now burning alive. Will go down to the fire of Crucial. Zed gonna hit his mark over a drop. He won't drop down, though. He goes the other way back to the long B platform. There's strength in numbers. He'll team back up with Aaron. They've got to try to win the 2 versus 3. And they do have the bomb. They could back off. They could spread out. And if they spread out and take their time, that will also force the ShiftPlay Eagles to shift their positions.
It sure will. Problem is, I think they've both been spotted, and there's no smoke to get back on the other side. But that's a nice frag, and see the dink through onto side from Zed. But realistically, his chances here are between slim and none. He's got a Molotov. He's down to 61. If he can get this first pick onto Piper, who turns around at the worst possible moment, but it's not going to matter. That being said, though, I say it's not going to matter. That is 3 weapons away from ShiftPlay. And of course, they will be able to buy up again this round, but it's keeping their economy around that same kind of position. Just on the edge. Although we are getting towards the business end of this first half, so it may not end up mattering a great deal. Infused going for the force here. With Tech9s and the Kevlar as well. Grenades to play with. Let's see if they go for that fast B play.
And that's what you would expect, probably to abuse drop in this circumstance. And yep, you can see every single person, well, all 4 of them, every person towards B going into drop. They've stormed the connector right now. Is going to be able to play, but he's going to fall to Red Snake. And now Zed, who is outside in the middle, is going to start making his approach onto the A site. With Dansky coming out the window with that FAMAS. Has been spotted by Sif. Sif will hit his shots. Aaron with 1 more kill for Infused, and it'll boil it down to the 2 versus 2. Office going to jump through, and speaking of boiling, lands right in the fire. More fire to be spread into the site. Actually landed back on the cannons, wasn't the best position, but Office moves and finds his man with the P90. Here comes Zed. That's going to force Office to get off the bomb, peek out, will find the frag. Doesn't have a kit, but he's got the time. 4K here for Office.
Pretty big one as well. I'd be very interested to see the economy after this round, though. I think ShiftPlay will be struggling again. Infused with that bomb plant should be golden for an AK buy-up here. Or at least a few AKs. So ShiftPlay will be able to rummage together a buy, but this could be a bit of an iffy buy. So there's an open play, P90. These last two players could be on a FAMAS and an M4 respectively. Maybe a Mag 7 could come into play, but it's going to be the FAMAS instead. And indeed, there's 4 AKs on the opposition for Infused, so still doable. I like that switch up in pace through drop zone. It's the first time we've really seen them go for an all-out rush, barring the pistol round. And ShiftPlay did start off with rifles, and they're going to go for it. Yeah, Opus though with the P90 is almost the perfect play to beat him, but he gets picked off. He does take down Aaron to 6 though, and it's almost an identical play. I think this is exactly the same play, Joey. Yeah, this last round.
And Zed lurking around in the mid room, so it's the same thing. Except this time they've got AKs instead of Tap 9s. No one had very many nades, but they're hitting their shots. And how many times has Aaron? You're like, oh, surely Aaron's dead. He's down on 10 or less HP, and he hits some ridiculous flick shot. That's exactly what happened to Office, so I'm sure he can't be happy about that. And looks like Infused will find the double digits. Sif and Hottie gonna have to go for this. It's a 2-on-5, and neither of these CTs have a kit. So even if they do kill everybody, they'll probably just lose on time.
Yeah, definitely expect so. There we go. Hottie gets the first, but instantly gets swarmed by Infused players. 10-5. Strangely enough, I'm going to say that could have been a whole lot worse for ShiftPlay.
Yeah, it could have been worse.
At one point, it was, what, 7-1, I think? 8-1, maybe even 9-1?
It was 9-1... 8-1. 8-1.
Yeah, 8-1 to Infused. So it's from 8-1 to 10-5. That's not too shabby at all. This gives them a chance. They need to win this pistol, of course, goes without saying. But if they do win the pistol, bring it back to 10-7, things could get a bit interesting. Of course, the way that the CTs work as well. We just break their economy a couple of times. That's 2 or 3 rounds in quick succession. Could be going the way of the terrorists. So definitely still doable. Unlikely, though, I would say. I think Infused CT side is going to be pretty strong. Yeah,
I mean, the pistol can definitely shake it up a little bit, right? Because then Infused can kind of get stuck in the same pattern of, oh, we've lost our CT pistol, then we lost that first, kind of subpar rifle round where you don't have all that equipment you would really want. And then you're off to a rough start with your CT economy. So there's always a chance. But it's pretty much what the second half pistol is, right? It's a second chance to get back into a map. That being said, if Infused win it, I feel like they will be pretty content just to sit and hold these sites. Crucial gets that op in his hands. He's going to be terrifying.
Yeah, I feel like right now the balance, the scales are tipping in Infused's favor. If they win this pistol, it's just going to absolutely, drop like a stone. So it's important
to cobblestone?
Potentially, yes. Although cobblestone doesn't sound very heavy to me.
I think they are. Why. They look pretty heavy.
I don't know why I think that. That's weird. For some reason I have pebble stuck in my mind, even though I know it's a completely different word. Yeah, this is a make or break round, I feel, for ShiftPlay. And even if they do win this, it's not even to say they definitely will come back, but I feel if they lose, then they've already 1 foot out of this map. Second map is Cache, I believe, and then third map is Overpass.
Will we see the third map?
Randomized. I feel Infused should tie this up at 2-0. That's what I'm feeling.
Wait, what? Oh, right. Tie it up
like a ribbon,
yeah. A ribbon.
I realized that was a poor choice of words. Tie up at 2-0. Hold on a second. Tie means draw. We don't really use tie as much in England. We would normally say draw.
Fair.
So but I realized my mistake. I apologize for the American viewers out there.
That's fine. We're dumb. Yeah, so actually looking at the second map, actually there was a cobble too. Average terrorist rounds for ShiftPlay was 7 rounds to the T side, so they could maybe still hit that. That would get them to, if they hit their average, that gets them to 12 rounds. And that's not good enough. They generally average 9 on the CT side, so they already missed out on that average. That very well could have been to just the nature of the game. This all being said, this is CEVO main, so there are definitely some teams that, there's a big skill difference between bottom of main to top of main, so who knows who they played to get some of these results, because the average for cobble rounds is 3 on the CT and 6 on the T side for Infused, so they've obviously crushed that.
Oh yeah, and as you say, the difference in skill between bottom and top, you've got likes of Vex in main right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Vex just went to major. That Vex. So yeah, absolutely, it's massive differences. And Infused, we talked about the importance of this pistol round. Hottie nearly gets charged down the bayonet charge from Windansky. Just about fended off for a few more seconds as Hottie will bite the dust courtesy of Zed. At least play for the AWPer of ShiftPlay Eagles with the Glock in his hands. Trying to do something this last minute of the round. He's going to get the drop on Zed. He is going to land that headshot. He didn't realise there's a second player there. But it is now a 2-on-1.
Yeah, maybe could have hesitated a bit more there. Peek Y would have maybe seen two, could have tried to have lined them up. Instead, I mean, he just killed a man there, so he's probably not expecting Crucial, so he looks the other way. And Infused will take the pistol.
Yeah, this is pretty brutal for ShiftPlay. They didn't get the bomb plant, no real reason for them to save in this round and hope for AKs next, so it is going to be the Force, as expected. Deagle, Tech-9s, P250s. 3 smokes in play as well. But a pretty healthy buy-up from Infused as well. 2 rifles and then 3 SMGs, including 2 P90s. And Red Snake using the P90 the same place we saw Othis using it as well in Drop Zone. All
Next
5 players.
level.
Uh-oh. If that grenade goes off, this could be brutal.
Ooh,
oh,
Dansky.
Goodness. Oh, I didn't do anywhere near as much damage as I expected it to, but they're still being able to clean this up. Aaron with 2 kills with the MP7. He's looking for a third as well. He's not going to hit it just yet. Finally, looks out his USP, does go for that instead. And just like that, ShiftPlay get put down 12-5 now for the English-based team of Infused.
Wow, an AG grenade not doing as much damage as you would expect. It's almost like this is Counter-Strike Global Offensive.
I'd make a correction as well. I said English-based. They're kind of like UK, and I think Crucial's Dutch. So I'm taking that back. They're not English-based, Vince. I'll slap myself on the wrist.
Alright. How dare you spread lies like this?
I know, right? Such a scrub.
Oh, Infused, he's got to hear those footsteps. You better get that gun back out. Oh, once they think this grenade. The layup that goes in. Don't know if it was required, but there's enough of a distraction there and danger that Crucial just gets in and mops him up. Actually, Crucial got the 4K.
He did. It's hard to get too excited about that though in like an eco bash round.
Yeah.
But
it was still, you know, they baited him into
bad.
that trap, distracted him, and it was well played. Nobody died. But it's not like the shots were hard. I mean, it was a P90.
Indeed.
You put a silver 1 in that position, they probably do the same thing.
Probably managed to kill themselves somehow, but
yeah,
I get
maybe not the same thing, but got a 4K. It's just I killed myself with the 4th kill. Whoops.
Ooh, I think when Dansky did that, the age-old issue with Orpers and switched too early, I think he was hoping to get that shot through the smoke and had he had gone for it, I think he would have landed somebody, but instead he just gets charged down.
Aaron.
Red Snake comes in with the P90 instead, and then switches to the AK in style and picks off a third. And for me, that is lights out for Cobblestone. ShiftPlay back to a terrible economic position and Infused with a huge lead.
Well, ShiftPlay were probably feeling so inspired after when Dansky misses that shot, they take him down, and then Aaron is like, "Oh, is this your dream? Sorry, I just crushed it." Because he had some beautiful shots. Hit that man coming over into the site, then flicks right up to the guy on the platform and continues to spray down another 2 that got caught in a crossfire, and some of that confusion as they just saw their teammates dying around them. So 14-5, and as you mentioned, economy pretty rough. They'll go for the Tech-9s and the utility. Looks like focused to B site. Will Dansky go fragless again? He's getting smoked off. I think he's learned. Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna move my position. And Aaron in the same exact spot, getting some deja vu here of him.
I certainly am. Almost identical setup other than Wendansky not dying early, but everyone's stacking and no one's doing anything for ShiftPlay. They are sitting ducks up there right now, and Aaron's just going to be tapping to his heart's content. There's the first one. They're lining up for a second one from as well, and then Zed and Red Snake both coming from the back. And it's clear cut as you could ask for Infused, only losing 1 player. It is the Orper again, but
yeah, it was Wendansky again. He goes down, and the rest of his team just destroys everything else.
They're going to be, wiping away their tears with their dollar bills. They've got 2 players, another 10k. He's not even going to go for the AWP. He's like, screw it, boys. The AWP's not working. I'll just stick with the M4.
Yeah.
No drop for him, which is interesting.
Why bother?
2 players on 10k, and he has to buy his own M4.
Because he's bad. He's died 2 rounds in a row. He doesn't deserve a drop.
Thing is that, for me, that's just, they may be having their foot off the accelerator, but that's a mistake. Wendansky now has no grenades, and they could be punished here for it as well. Becca comes out with 2 frags. Yeah,
they stopped going over into that B site, and I certainly would stop going to that B site after what Aaron and Zed and Red Snake and Crucial were doing to me. Felt like I needed an adult there. Here's Red Snake. He's going to go down, so ShiftPlay looking to stay in this. Maybe mount that comeback. Aaron going to try to make it expensive, but not even that expensive. Only Sif is going to go down, and Hottie with a personal $300.
Yeah, I feel that's just honestly a misplace from Infused, like straight up. Because you kind of talked into this as well, the psychology of Counter-Strike. If you've just been wrecked twice in a row on B side, chances are T's probably going to be going A. And Infused must have been able to call that. Have a bit more discipline over on the A side, play more passive. They got picked off effectively, the first two players, and from there on in it just crumbled. But still, let's keep things in perspective. It's a 6-15 scoreline. Yes, Infused made a mistake. They should still take this, easily.
They can make a lot of mistakes. And here's crucial with that op that I mentioned before we even flip into the second half. Once he picks it up, it's going to be pretty scary. It does actually only find the one kill with it. Still 3-on-3. So ShiftPlay got themselves in a pretty decent position. They will be able to force Infused to spread out. But ShiftPlay still spread out themselves, so it's going to take some time to regroup. And Red Snake might find himself a position to strike here. He heard those footsteps.
Yep. The chances are unlikely that you'd run in that kind of position from a T side unless you're pushing B quickly.
Yeah, and the rotation came over almost immediately as that occurred.
That is telegraphed right there from ShiftPlay. That one mistake cost them huge, and Aaron's going to come in with 2 frags. This should be game, set, and match, on this map at least, to Infused. Last player's Hoddy. He hasn't been terrible for his team, but he is sitting at 8 for 18. That really has been a bit of a stinging blow for ShiftPlay, has this map. But as I said before, Infused narrowly got beat by Hellraisers just a couple weeks ago on this map, so clearly they're pretty strong on it. Hoddy goes for the peek, gets himself headshotted. In fact, I think he delivered the headshot onto Red Snake, but it's through the wall. That's kind of weird there. Red Snake just killed himself. I did not see that, but it doesn't matter. I think that may have been a Molotov.
Yeah, I think he had thrown a Molotov down, so...
Yeah, Red Snake below, no problem, says Neil.
No problem. That was their coach, by the way. He's caught me off guard a few times. I'm like, who the hell is Neil M? He's not even... Oh, it's their coach.
Yeah. So, to Cash we go. And not a particularly inspiring performance there from ShiftPlay, but this was their choice of map, so let's hope for better things here.
Yeah, I mean, Cobble to me is that one map where every team has a potential to find their own personal Virtus plow, right? It's a map where you can run people over on, kind of on either side. So maybe that was the case. Looking at the stats, they were certainly better on Cobble, the ShiftPlay Eagles that is, going into it. So it was a little unfortunate to take the loss. Looking at Cash, it's 7.3 rounds on the T side, 7.7 on the CT side for ShiftPlay. So those are pretty good numbers. That's just 3 maps. That's pretty even on your sides. That almost adds to 16 right there. But it is 10 rounds on the CT side for Infused, 6th on the T side. So look for a strong CT side from Infused, who will actually... Who picked this again? This was the pick of Infused, so they will have to start on the... No, this was the pick of ShiftPlay. Wow. Yeah. So maybe this could be rough. Infused is going to be able to start on that CT side.
Yeah, what I will say though about Cash is I feel the stats sometimes do skew it slightly. I think it's a map that's pretty even overall.
Yeah, definitely.
Between the two sides. It's not an Inferno, for example. It's not necessarily an overpass where you're expecting the CTs to rack up 9, 10, maybe even 11 rounds depending on the team. This is very, very even split down the mix. I know Infused are pretty solid on this map overall. From when I cast them at I-55, they were pretty good on Cash, put out some good performances. So I'm expecting good things from them. I'm just hoping that ShiftPlay step up, man, because their cobblestone performance, a couple of force buys cost them big, but across the board, I was trying to look out for strats. What is it that Infused is doing on the T side that is so detrimental to ShiftPlay? They were just getting the better of the aim duels. Straight up. There was nothing too strategic that was going into their plays. They were just on point when it came to aim. So ShiftPlay need to step up, because Cash is the kind of map that if your aim is off, you will get absolutely battered.
Yeah, and we know whose aim is on. Aaron and Zed are looking incredible right now, so it's a very good chance we don't even have to see Overpass, but let's let Cash unfold in just a little bit after this commercial break. Myself, Helium, and Metas here. We will be right back with the action. MLG.tv/PlayCevo. Stay tuned.